appreciate that.
Closed up. I don't think it's a sold for
Wherever you please, mothers.
We know you.
A lot of the farming world has very rigid expectations. I was glad I wish.
Well, there was some nice ones out there.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Church of Lincoln this Sunday morning. May need more volume, I'm being told. Thank you. Better? I'll say a few words and then you can tell me if it's not better. I realize that a single word better doesn't help much. Welcome to the Unitarian Church of Lincoln this Sunday morning. My name is Amy Miller. I'm a worship associate and pleased to be here as one of your lay volunteers. Over the last several years, the way that we have met in this congregation has changed. Whether we meet in person, whether we meet on Zoom, whether in some other artificial intelligence way we can't yet imagine, worship together deepens our connections with each other and deepens our spirituality. We have the chance to find more meaning in our lives. We have the chance to proclaim who we are, what we believe in. We have the chance to throw open the doors of our congregation and proclaim the radical love and welcome that is at the heart of the Unitarian faith. The Unitarian Church of Lincoln aspires to be a loving community, uniting reason with spiritual exploration to transform ourselves and the world. So welcome to this loving community. May we, in our gathering here together, transform ourselves and the world together. We are joined this morning by a guest, the world champion Wichita war dancer. He is of the Tohono O'odham Ponca Nations. He's been performing the war dance for several years. He has a passion for not only performing, but also educating people about his culture and its history. The Wichita war dancer has traveled across the world and always enjoys the opportunity to share his dance at events. It's a memorable opportunity to witness his war dance style. It will be a pleasure to have him perform for you 3 times today, as well as after the service. I now light our chalice, which is the symbol of our religion. Today's chalice lighting words are from a Unitarian minister of our time, Reverend Linda Gunawardene. May we hear the music of our spirit and let our life lightly dance on the edge of time. May we be able to look into the eyes of another person and see ourselves. May we feel suffering and despair, but know that transformation is possible. May we understand we are more than our troubles, and we are not alone. May we know that everyone is all right because of who they are and where they are on their dancing journey. Our first hymn today is hymn number 188, Come, Come, Whoever You Are. Please rise in body or in spirit and join us in hymn number 188, Come, Come, Whoever You Are. It's now time for all ages that will be shared with us today by Mark Weddleton. We have any young people or anyone who wants to come forward to best be able to interact with Mark. Please come down front to enjoy today's time for all ages.
It's so nice to see you all this morning. Today's story, I should turn my mic on. There we go. Today's story is called 47,000 Beads. The authors are Koja and Angel Adeyoha, who are Ogallala Lakota. The Lakota are an indigenous nation. Indigenous means the first people here on this continent. As our story opens, we see some people getting into an awesome Volkswagen van. This is the old kind. Us oldsters just love to see those. And they're going to a powwow. And the way I can know that they're going to a powwow is that they're wearing what's called regalia. And regalia is traditional cultural clothing worn with dancing or attending a powwow. There's different regalia for different dances, for different nations and tribes, and for different genders. So they're heading to a powwow. A powwow is a gathering held by many North American indigenous communities. Powwows have dancing, food, crafts, and ceremony. There's one that will be coming up here in Lincoln at the Indian Center the first few days of next month. You might want to check that out. So they're off to the powwow, but over here is Peyton. She's a girl and she doesn't look very happy. Let's read our story and find out why she's not happy. Okay, it's after the powwow, they're back home, and there she is, and Peyton is dancing. It looks like she loves to dance. But Peyton's auntie, Ayoda, came into her room. She said, "Time for bed, but before we sleep, tell me, why did you not dance powwow with us, little one?" Peyton shrugged and flopped down on her bed. "Come on now," said her auntie, "tell me." All in a rush, Peyton said, "I don't want to jingle dance, auntie. I don't want to wear a dress." And that's a jingle dance dress. "Peyton, there are many dances," auntie said gently. "There are many regalias." Peyton started to cry. Finally, she said, "There's just none for kids like me." Auntie smiled at Peyton and started undoing her braid. "I think I'm beginning to understand. You sleep now. Tomorrow is a new day, and I know someone who can help." In the morning, Auntie Ayoda baked bread and went to see a friend. She found Elle working and said, "Ho, how's it today, grandparent?" Elle put down their tools and answered, "It's a good day. What way can I help you today, Ayoda?" Auntie Ayoda gave Elle the bread she'd baked, and they sat down together in a shady spot. When they were settled, Auntie explained that she wanted to talk about her niece, Peyton. Elle asked, "Peyton is the small, quiet one?" "Ah, yes, that's the one," said Auntie Ayoda. "You've noticed her?" "I've noticed that I always see her keeping time with her feet, but she doesn't dance. She looks at the dancers like she wants badly to dance. Like in her heart, she is dancing." "She's a shy child?" asked Elle. "Peyton is special, grandparent, different. I think her pain is two-spirit. I'm sorry, I think her path is two-spirit. I think she wants regalia like her brother and uncle. She feels alone, but I know she isn't. I want to show her that she's not. Well, said Elle, I'm happy to share teaching with her and to guide while she learns which path is hers to walk. But I think you want more. I think you need more than just that, yeah? Yoda laughed. You saw that too. I was hoping you'd help me with getting regalia together for her, the kind she really wants. I know it's a lot to ask. It's a big job, yeah, but that's why we have community. Let me ask around. Are you still beading too, Ayoda? Let's draw it up. On the way home, Ayoda called her sister Chapa, Peyton's other auntie, and asked if she'd make Peyton's new beaded belt and headband. Maybe use lots of orange. It's her favorite. Then she sat down with Peyton's mom, Micah, to explain. They spoke late into the night. Her mom asked, should I be worried? Ayoda said, no, sister. You should make her a ribbon skirt and pants to match. You'll see, she'll finally get out in the arena where she's meant to be. Who else should I ask? Auntie thought. Auntie sent an email to the grandmother who first taught her how to bead. Winona was still making regalia and said she would be glad to help, even if she needed a magnifying glass to see all the tiny beads on Peyton's harness and aprons. Auntie Ayoda called her cousin all the way in Montana. He was so excited to make a set of beautiful armbands and cuffs for Peyton's new regalia. He sent them with a blessing to sing at the powwow for her and with a hug for Peyton. I notice Peyton's still looking sad. I think she doesn't know what's going on, so she's just thinking about how she can't get a regalia that fits her just right for who she is. Last, but maybe most important, Elle offered to make Peyton's moccasins. They had turtles on the toes to give endurance for the dance and to make Peyton's feet feel grounded to the earth. Peyton was in her room getting ready for the giveaway and potluck. It was one of her favorite and best parts of the powwow, the giveaway that is. Her aunties and mama would drum and sing, and there would be as much of all her favorite foods as she could eat. What should I give away? Peyton thought. Grandmother says it's always something you value that you give first. Wait, I've got it. Peyton got down the abalone shell that she put up on the shelf. She held it and remembered how happy she'd been to get it and how it had made her smile all year when she looked at it. Perfect. When they got to the potluck, Auntie Ayoda said, Peyton, I have a special giveaway for you this time. You have heard how when I was a girl, how I wanted to drum, but all the drummers were men where I lived. Now you know I'm head singer on our drum here. My family believed in me and honored me, and today I am grateful to do the same thing for you. Our whole family wants to give you this gift, but the person to give it is a new teacher for you. Auntie Ayoda said, taking Elle by the hand, this grandparent will give you stories and help you find your path. Aho, Takoya, said Elle, greeting Peyton. I have such stories to tell you about people from all the nations who carry two spirits inside of them. I can't wait to tell them to you. Peyton, your Tiospaye and community stand behind me to give you this gift. And may you dance strong in it tomorrow, Elle said. Peyton unwrapped each package and heard who had made and given it, with her mother and Auntie Ayota sitting beside her. Now she looks happy, doesn't she? The next day at the powwow, in the arena with her auntie drumming an honor song, Peyton was finally dancing as herself, not as a boy or as a girl, but as Peyton in her 47,000 beads. Now, as we look at that picture and think about the story and its happy ending, I wanted to share a couple of things. Did you guys like the story? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Okay, thumbs up. All right, good deal. 2 thumbs up. Okay. Well, we chose this story because we love it too, and because it expresses values that we share as Unitarian Universalists. The embrace of a community that loves us supports our journey to being our true self. And I hope that this community represents that for you. Now, next, I'd like to introduce Greg Victors. Unlike Peyton, Greg isn't two-spirit. He is a powerful indigenous dancer. So we would love to have you stay and join us as we watch Greg Victors dance. If you do plan to stay, go ahead and go back and sit in your seats. If you'd like to, though, you may go back to the classes and participate in the activities there today. So you have that choice. And now I'd like to introduce Greg Victors.
Testing 1, 2. Good morning, Unitarian Church of Lincoln. How are you guys doing this morning? I know it's 10 o'clock in the morning. But if you're happy to be alive, if you're happy to be well, and if you're happy to be here enjoying this beautiful day, let's try that again. How you guys doing this morning? All right. Well, thank you so much. I am the world champion Wichita war dancer coming to you by way of Wichita, Kansas. And I've just been looking forward to come here and spend some time with all of you lovely folks. I got a chance to meet some of you this morning. But before I get started, I just want to take an opportunity to thank a couple people here. We have Bob, and I don't know where everybody else is sitting, but we have Mary and we have Judy out there somewhere. Thank you so much for having me come and be a part of your Summer Indigenous program. So if you can, please let's give them a nice round of applause for having me come here today. Oh, there you are. And then I just want to say I really appreciate this congregation for showing some light and showcasing and appreciation to the Native American culture. And so that really means a lot to me, that we've come a long way in our history to where we want to know more about our indigenous peoples and our native peoples. And it's a beautiful thing to me because there's still a lot of places that are not accepting of my culture, believe it or not, in this day and age. And so I just want to say, if you all could give yourself a nice round of applause for showing appreciation to our culture. So with that, I got some performances this morning that we're going to get into. But this is an awesome crew. They're going to let me perform, and then they're allowing me to catch my breath. So that's going to be wonderful. And then at the end, we're going to have a setup outside to where whoever wants to come and join me on a social dance, you can come join me that time right here at the patio. So let me explain a little bit about what I do, the dancing that I do. Now let me tell you a little bit about my tribes. The first tribe that I come from is called the Tohono O'odham. Can you guys say Tohono O'odham? Very good. Now that's a Southwest tribe. That's on my father's side, and they're from southern Arizona, And when I say a desert Arizona, that's what you picture in your head. That's exactly what it is. Lots of sand, cactus, what we call ocotillo, lots of mountains and snakes, scorpions, and tarantulas were our pets back in the day there on the reservation. But I'm also a member of the Ponca. And can you guys say Ponca? Now, the Ponca you're probably familiar with here in Nebraska. We have a northern Ponca, and then, unfortunately, you know, with the Forced Removal Act, a lot of our Poncas had their Trail of Tears from Niobrara all the way to where our reservation's at is White Eagle, Oklahoma. And that's a representative of the southern Ponca. And so that's where this heritage comes from on my mother's side, and this is why I'm dressed in my regalia today. So here at one of my other performances I'm going to do this morning, I'm going to get a little bit more into about my regalia and share some light about that. But let me tell you about this dance. It's called the war dance, and in our culture, and like many of you, we have a deep respect and honor for all of our environment, for our world and nature that's around us. We're people and children of nature, and the way we look at it in our origin stories, our Creator created the world first, and with that, the land and the water and the rivers. And then after that, then came our four-legged relatives, all of our animals, our buffalo, our pets, like you call now, like our dogs. But all of these, you know, like some of you who are pet owners, this is part of your family. And so that's why we call them our four-legged relatives. And so that's where the spirituality we have comes to our people, and that's where this dance comes from. It's a dance that honors the horse. We looked at it as a gift from our Creator to help us hunt, to help us protect our families, to help us travel. And so this dance honors the spirit, the strength, and the courage of a horse. You can imagine a horse, those of you who might have some experience with horses, how easily spooked a horse can be. So imagine the courage of a horse that had to run against a buffalo trail that had about 10,000 buffalo, or maybe a horse that had to go into battle to help protect the family. And so these were all honorable things, and that's where this dance was created. So I'm going to do some dancing, and I want you to kind of watch my movements and the way I pick up my legs and move my head. This whole dance is supposed to imitate a horse kind of moving in different ways, not just galloping along easy, but kind of moving with that spookness, but still having the courage to move on. So this is the war dance, and it comes from the Ponca. I'm very proud that my own ancestors created this dance, and all types of other tribes now do this dance, and they give their own interpretations. And so I'm very proud that this dance was created by my own ancestors. So are you guys ready to see the war dance this morning? I don't think so. Are you guys ready to see the war dance this morning? All right, very good. What'd you guys think of that? That bad, huh? What'd you guys think of that? Come on, I'm working this morning. Well, thank you so much. I am a little worn out, I can tell already. I was on my way traveling. I was in a show in North Platte, Nebraska. So I took off this morning about 5:30 from North Platte, and the only place was open was the local donut shop. So I'm kind of feeling a little bit of that this morning, but we'll be okay. I'll come back and we're working it out. So I'm going to let you go ahead and continue on with the rest of your service, and I will be out again to do another dance. I did forget to mention, and I apologize, if you want to take pictures or video or anything like that, I want you guys, this is your home. Feel comfortable, and I'll do pictures later if you want. But if you want to take pictures, just enjoy yourself. So I'll see you in a little bit. Thank you.
Good morning. My name's Jason. I'm a member of the board of trustees. I don't know how I can follow that. It was amazing. Again, I'm a member of the board of trustees. We're going to do our announcements here. I want to offer a special welcome to those who are visiting for the very first time. Thank you so much for showing up. We're going to share some of our things that are going on in our church community that extends beyond Sunday, beyond the Sunday morning worship. Now, today, we were going to have some Indian tacos here in the gallery, but unfortunately, Devron Baxter is ill, and so we will not be having that. So I know we were kind of looking forward to that. I know I was, but we just wish him a speedy recovery. As part of our Summer Indigenous program, we will be joined on Thursday night this week by Erin Poor again. Erin is the co-leader of the Intertribal Medicine Collective and will share more of her knowledge of mindfulness with Mother Earth. Please join us this Thursday, July 25th at 7 p.m. right here and enjoy her conversation. If you haven't looked at the e-blast, I recommend that you do. There's a lot of things going on this week. So make sure we have the school supplies drive that's happening today by our Social Justice Committee, Poetry Open Night, and Coffee House Game Night. Please take a look at those details in the e-blast so that you know what that is all about. And we can now share that our interim director, Reverend A.J. Galazin, probably saying that wrong, will be joining us for service on Sunday, August 4th. And after the service, we'll have the Allison Funderland event. He'll be there as well at 1 p.m. the same day. His first day in this pulpit will be the following Sunday, August 11th. And then please come back next Sunday as our final Sunday of our Indigenous program here of Dr. Gabe Brugier. We'll talk about how the Indian youth that attend the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, we want to know how they interact with each other and how their experiences are. So thank you so much.
This is the time in our service that is central to the actual time that we're together, because when we share joys and sorrows, it's central to how we are a community with each other. We share sorrows, concerns, we share the celebrations and the happiness and the various steps of our journey. By doing so, we elevate our joy to a higher level and hopefully manage our sorrow more manageably. We will start with sorrow today. If you are on the live stream, we invite you to chat and type in your joy or your sorrow. There's a little bit of a time lag, but I've got my phone here and I will keep my eye on it so that we want to hear from you as well. For those of you who are present in the sanctuary, we invite you to say out loud your name or the name of one that you are thinking of in sorrow today. Glenda. Devrin. Jala.
The family of Dwayne Singses.
The family of Dwayne Singses. Don.
Orly.
Floyd,
Orally.
Ora Lee.
The attacks on our president.
The attacks on our president. Dusty. In the chat from Judy Kelly, I have Patty's mother. And Patty says, "Thank you, Judy."
Our president of COVID.
President having COVID.
People of Palestine.
People of Palestine.
And the people of Ukraine.
People of Ukraine. Sorrow, of course, would be most unbearable if we didn't also have joy to leaven the hard things. Whether it is typing in the chat for those of you on the live stream or saying it out loud here in the sanctuary, please share your name or the name of those that you'd like to lift up in joy today.
Our guest dancer.
Our guest dancer, Greg Victors.
Family reunion in Michigan last week, which is why we weren't here.
Family reunion in Michigan last week, which is why Tom and Joanna weren't here.
The smokehouse auction item at the Man's yesterday was delicious on many levels.
Ooh, the smokehouse auction item offered by the Mans was delicious yesterday. Small advertisement for the next auction. Anything the Mans do is delicious. Marcia shares in the chat, after 32 years, moved into my new brownstone. Bittersweet, both a sorrow and a joy.
Michael celebrates his birthday on Tuesday.
Michael's celebrating his birthday this Tuesday.
My birthday is next month, and my dad's birthday is the day after that.
All right.
Birthday next month with their dad the day after. Judy shares Jackie Egan and her recovery. I'll add that the joy, not just today, but all month, is the amount of work that Mary Kay and Judy have put into creating this month's Indigenous programming. A last joy in the chat, Marcella and family. Not everyone has a joy or sorrow that they can say out loud. It may be that we don't have words for it yet. It may be that we do not feel like sharing it with others. But let us take a moment of silence to think about the joys that you carry with you, the sorrows you carry with you, and all that has been shared here today. Thank you for your presence here. Our next hymn, we invite you to stand in body or in spirit. The next hymn is number 1008, 1008, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place.
When
Oh, I'm sorry. I was busy donating to the Lincoln Unitarian Church. It's so easy and convenient to do it on my phone, I forgot that I was on next. Each week, we do take up a collection to support the work of this church and our partners in the community. We do this because just as we all grow from participation in this community, we also want to give back our time, our talent, and our treasure. As Bill plays the next tune, the ushers will pass the offering plates. You can place cash or a check in those offering plates, or you could text, as I just modeled. You text UCL Lincoln and the amount to the number 73256, which is on the screen so that you don't have to hold that in your head. The offering will now be gratefully received. I would now like to welcome back our guest, Greg Victors, the champion Wichita war dancer.
Testing. I don't know what to do with having a little bit of a break in there. I'm not used to that. I could get used to that. I like that. So what I'm going to do now is talk to you a little bit about some of this, where we're at here in Nebraska. It's a historical, where we're at is a very historical area. Lots of native tribes were once here. I'm sure a lot of you know the state history, but we had a lot of different natives in the area. We had Poncas, we had Omahas, we had Kaw, Oto, Missouri, just all types of different tribes in this area, and it was just it's always beautiful to be here. What I consider our homelands for the Ponca. I know we're still a little bit further north, but it's always good to be here in this state because it makes me feel connected. We're big on energy, and we feel very good about being here. And so in this area, you had, of course, the rivers and the lakes, and we had a lot of we were nomadic people, and so we followed our food, we followed our resources, and we worked together, and despite what some history books might say, we were always fighting. That's not true. We worked together a lot, and in fact, we all kind of became a part of each other's tribes in many ways. And so, but we did have warriors that would have to protect their families and defend their territories. And so this dance that I do now is to commemorate that. It kind of tells a story. In the old days, our villages, there was, of course, like a focal point, a center, and that's where our women and our children and the majority of the tribe lived. But then on the outside perimeter, about a couple miles out, there was always scouts. And scouts had a very important job. It was their job to protect the rest of the tribe from danger, whether that's a storm or maybe, like I said, 10,000 buffalo headed that direction. And so they were always looking and searching for tracks and different things, or maybe there was an enemy attack coming. And so it was their job to warn the tribe about this. So this dance comes in honor of those scouts that were looking for tracks and telling a story about trying to help their family and defend their people. And so that's where this dance comes from. It's called the Shield Dance. So if you guys want to take pictures and remember, you guys can do that and just enjoy yourself. Here comes the Shield Dance.
Judy and Mary Kay asked me to choose a reading that would fit with today's theme, would allow our dancer to catch his breath. And I looked for a reading. I knew exactly what I was looking for, and I couldn't find it. So I wrote my own thing. So this is a very mini item that's not a reading. Well, I guess it's a reading by a Unitarian of our times. So many scientific studies talk about the beneficial aspects of dance. The fact that it requires physical exertion and synchronizing yourself with other people, with the musicians, creates stronger social bonds than other types of mutual activities. Apparently, it is also very good for us physically. It increases our pain tolerance, it improves fitness, it increases our mood and decreases stress. So objectively, dance is very therapeutic, and yet so many of us are shy about dancing in public. I'm not 100% sure why. For me, maybe we're afraid we're going to fall short of social expectations. We're afraid of looking foolish. I didn't dance in 7th grade when there would be all school dances and all of my classmates were doing line dances to Michael Jackson's Thriller. I didn't dance in my 20s when my best friend got married and had a fabulous wedding. I didn't dance in my 30s or 40s when I was attending live concert performances by fabulous musicians. I would sit in my chair and wiggle. I dance quite a bit in my own living room when no one is looking. I dance in my car, I dance in my head. I dance when I'm on my volunteer radio show, because you all can't see that. But I won't dance near other people. If I scrutinize really hard, I guess I must have been thinking that someone was going to point at me and make fun of me. It never has happened, but that is the reason that I haven't danced in public. And I suppose for a lot of us, many of our fears, whether it's dancing in public, talking in public, trying out a new outfit, expressing our true gender identity, expressing our true sexual orientation, expressing your true spiritual and religious beliefs, expressing your progressive blue political beliefs. Being who you are and putting yourself out there in any category is scary. And it starts to get bigger in our heads. So I have all of these anxieties rattling around in my head. Dancing in public is just one of them. I worry, am I brave enough to talk to a new person at coffee hour? Am I brave enough to go try a new cuisine from a culture or an ethnicity that's different than me? Will I know what to do and how to do it? I'm shy about attending a local powwow for fear that I'm injecting myself into a space that I don't belong. I'm shy sometimes about raising my voice if I hear someone saying something hurtful, and I want to help, but I also am not sure how to help. So dancing is just one anxiety I have. Being in a community like this is a place where we can practice all of those things. We can practice lifting up our voice. We can practice being our authentic self. This is a community that isn't going to point and mock. This is a community that's going to embrace you in whatever way you present yourself to us. This is a community that says, yeah, we've all got those fears rattling around inside of our head, and you just have to acknowledge the fear and say, I know, you're trying to keep me safe, but dancing is not going to hurt anything. And then you just have to be bold and do that. I hope that the Unitarian Church is a place for you, as it is for me, a place where you can dance, express yourself, tell us who you really are, and that I won't be mocking you, and I hope you won't be mocking me when I decide that I'm brave enough to wiggle or dance or lift my voice up near you. Our last hymn by a Unitarian of our time. Our last hymn is hymn number 1024 in the Teal Book, When the Spirits Say Do. Now we're only going to do 3 verses because we want to get back to the last piece by Greg Victors. So we're only doing 3 verses, singing, dancing, and laughing, but let's, When the Spirits Say Do, number 1024.
When the
Bill Carpenter, you are a joy and a treasure. Want to remind you that there is the memory book out in the gathering space where you can share a drawing or memory or a well wish for Oscar before they pack that up and send it off to Oscar.
Can we especially thank Bob Hewson, who made this all happen?
We're going to thank Bob Fusen particularly for making this happen today. Thank you, Bob. As you heard, we don't have Indian tacos today. We hope best health for Devin Baxter and his family. We also want to remind you that whether you're feeling brave or want to just watch, there will be a dance outside after the service led by our guest, Greg Victors, who now will join us for his final performance today here at the Unitarian Church.
All right. We ready to do this again? Well, this is my last performance in here, and I just hope you all can join me afterwards right out here at the patio. Many of you saw as I come in, I do have a little merch table there that, you know, I sell posters and different things like that. I'm out of t-shirts, so that's a good thing, but sorry, I wish I had t-shirts here today. But you know, I appreciate if you can just stop by, or if you want to take pictures afterwards, we're good. So on my last performance, what I'm going to do, it's pretty much the same as the first performance. But before that, I want to talk to you a little bit about my regalia. And I don't know how we're doing on time, but I just kind of want to briefly, one of the main things I want to go over are this regalia. It's supposed to resemble a horse. And so that's why I have the hair, goat hair on my legs. Kind of like a stallion, or maybe like a Clydesdale, where I have the dancing of the horse. The bells resemble like sleigh bells, maybe. But one thing, the biggest thing I want to talk to you is about the colors: the red, the orange, and the yellow, and the white. When you see these colors, what comes to your mind? Fire. Very good. See, I'm not in Kansas anymore because right off everybody, Kansas City Chiefs. That's just a coincidence. I'm not a Chiefs football fan. This is these colors. They represent. Who's ever seen the morning sun? Okay, so these colors represent the morning sun. That beautiful morning sun coming up over the horizon. Sometimes you see vibrant colors of orange and red. Sometimes purple and pink. And what this symbolizes, and how I use these colors, is it's the most sacred time of day for our Native people. The morning when that sun's coming up, it's the most sacred part of our day. And in our ceremonies and our religion and in our churches, it's the most sacred part of our service. When that day's coming, it's a brand new day, it's a brand new start. Like I said before, our people have a lot of spirituality, and it's a time where we're harnessing our energy, we're strengthening ourselves, we're meditating for the day. Maybe we have a sick loved one. Maybe we have people in our family that are off course, or maybe things are going good, and we want that to continue. And so that's a time for our people to use as prayer and meditation and harnessing our energy. And so that's what these colors represent. You know, despite what we've been through in our lives, our Native people have been through a lot, through acculturation, assimilation, genocide, and these types of things, but we've always kept a good positive attitude because of the sun. The sun is a part of who we are, and it reminds us that despite what has happened to us in our past and in our history, we're always gifted the sun. You know, ourselves, we're not promised tomorrow, but the sun will be there, and it'll be an opportunity for us to be reminded that whatever we go through, our struggles, we have another day to make it right. We have another day to fix things. We have another day to keep pushing ourselves forward. And so that's what these colors represent. The headdress I wear is a typical headdress of the plains. It's made out of porcupine quills. And the white part that you see here, this is actually from a deer tail, white deer tail. Can you guys say Sindeska? Sindeska. That means white tail in my language. And so this was a typical headdress. And then now on the top I have eagle feathers, the most important part of my regalia. There are approximately 900 different native nations and indigenous cultures in Canada, the United States, and in Mexico. We're all indigenous and we speak different languages. We have different beliefs and customs. But one thing we pretty much all have in common is the eagle. And it's part of our religion. It's how we communicate with the Creator. It's what we use it's a tool that we use in our ceremonies. And so these are why you see natives wear feathers in their hair or their headdress. And depending on some of our chiefs, you see the big war bonnets, or some of our most decorated warriors, kind of like in the military, you get, patches and stars. Our war bonnets, our warriors, they'll have long war bonnets. And so that's different. There's different types of headdress. Here in Nebraska, a lot of Poncas, we also wore otters, kind of with an otter cap, and you just had different types of headdresses. And so this is the basics of my regalia. It's to resemble a horse. I do, who's ever heard of Amazon Prime? Just kidding. No, I wish someday in the future I could go on there and click and get one of these, but it takes me about 3 years to make a regalia. So I'm constantly working on it. I do everything stitch by stitch, bead by bead. I sew everything myself. And so when I put it all on, it weighs about 60 pounds. But people say, why do you put yourself through that? Why do you do that? Why do you go through this? Well, I have a responsibility. It's my passion to share my culture. And I feel the responsibility comes from my ancestors. Like I said, how we were treated in the old days. So a lot of what I do, everything I do, was my ancestors saving that and preserving that and putting their life on the line. These dances were outlawed. Our way of life, our culture, our language was outlawed. And you could pay an ultimate price for those things. But they went underground and they saved it so that they knew they had a vision that someday their young grandson and great-grandson and so on would be able to perform. And so I'm just happy enough that we've progressed as people, despite our differences, that I could be like here today and sharing my culture with all of you. And so I'm very proud of that. And so this is my responsibility. It's my passion. It's what I love. I've been to 4 different continents all over the world, traveling and dancing and doing these dances. And I'm here, happy to be this morning here with all of your wonderful congregation, with all of you this morning. So this next dance I'm going to do, a lot of times people ask me, when you dance, what do you think of? And the easy question is, I think of all of you. When we dance for the people. We dance for the energy and your well-being. And so this next dance that I'm going to perform is going to be my gift to you. It's a dance that I look around and I see your faces. Some of you I can tell you have Native heritage, Native ancestors in your bloodline. I don't know how I can tell, but I know some of you have some descendants there. And so when I dance, I want to dance for all of you. And what I want you to do is to kind of think along about your own struggles. Maybe you got a doctor's report that isn't that great, or maybe you have someone in your family that needs some help, or maybe you're working on a project, or you're at a crossroads about something, or maybe things are going great. You got a promotion, or something else is coming your way and you need answers and you're looking for that strength. This dance is going to be for those things. So I want you to think about those as I perform, and I want you to feel the energy that I'm going to give you. So if you could please just, kind of think of your own prayer in your own mind, and I'm going to try to do my best to make sure I can connect my energy to you, and I want you all to receive a blessing for being so gracious to me and welcoming me into your home and all beautiful facility that you have here. So thank you so much for having me, and don't forget, we're going to dance out here after this. So I want you guys to just enjoy yourself. Are you guys ready? Thank you. High fives. Did you guys receive it? All right. So that was my blessing for all of you. And now, who's ready to dance with me? Everybody got, shut the doors, please. No, I'm just kidding. Nobody leave. So before we go out there, I want to talk to you a little bit about this dance. It's not, you don't have to do what I'm going to do. Who's ever played Follow the Leader? Let's just follow the leader. So this is going to be called the snake dance. And in our tribes, we also had subgroups called clans. And each clan had a specific job and duty to do. And it was the snake clan members who had a job getting the grounds ready for a performance, so, or some ceremony, maybe a wedding or some type of service that the tribe was going to have. And so if you can imagine, here on the plains, the grass was pretty tall. So what the snake clan would do is that they would all have the responsibility of clearing the path of this ceremony. And so what they would do is they'd come together, and somebody would say go and give the signal, and they'd all jump on their John Deere lawnmowers. No John Deere back then. Maybe there was, but not here. They would dance for 4 days. And in that time, by the time they were done, everything was ready to go, and it was beautiful. And so we're not going to dance for 4 days, obviously, but we're going to do about maybe 5 minutes of that, and just kind of enjoy yourselves, give you the idea of what it looks like. So whoever wants to come out there, if not, and you're ready to go, and so I know some of you might have something to do, I appreciate your patience and your attention, and you guys have just been great. So if not, you guys have a blessed day, and for those who want to come out and hang out with me for a little bit longer, come on out.